Do we see Vikash on the Viper? Like, this is the kind of questions that we're asking.
No.
No.
Okay, never mind. I thought that Fnatic were going to play Teo because they were playing it a lot last year when they could have gone to double Judah. And now we're seeing Alpha on Raze. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is probably one of the strongest, if not strongest, compositions on the map. And seeing Alpha get to play as duelist again makes me happy.
You have a big smile on your face, so that's what we like to see. Then I want to flip it to Navi's composition here, Billy, in terms of like what we can expect from their side of things, because they do have the Teo on there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the composition that they run on Bind all throughout Kickoff so far. I think for them, they need to go into this map learning the mistakes that they had against Gentlemates specifically, because that was a rough one for them.
Yeah, I think Filu in particular was having a rough time on that Bind last time against Gentlemates. So, like, honestly, the Filu Alpha year head-to-head is kind of interesting here. Because Filu came off of such a hot game, can he continue that momentum?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think as well, when we're looking at this, how is that, you know, Viper head-to-head going to be? I think Vikash being back on this agent is going to look so much better for him, especially considering the performance that he just had on the Jet. And Ruxic as well has been a hard hitter throughout the series so far that we've been keeping an eye on.
Yeah, you guys want to throw in a prediction in regards to who you think is going to take away Bind after each team winning their opponent's map?
Ooh.
You can disagree,
man,
you can say no.
I always just say Fnatic. So unfortunately, I just prefer Fnatic's composition. They've got tape on Navi, can dissect that a little bit. And anytime I see Alpha on Raze, I'm very
Is that the reason why you prefer the composition? Because it is Alpha
No, I think
Raze?
the composition itself is, we saw last year, Euro Raze was just dominating globals, and I think that it is just strong.
I think I'll go the opposite side then and say Navi, just so I can, you know, be on the other side of that. I think that if you have Hero, Ruxic and Sociable, the firepower that they bring, if they can continue to have a good performance today, I think it outclasses Fnatic.
Okay, well, we have a disagreement here on the desk, but maybe the casters can have an agreement over there in regards to who they think is going to win, because we're ready to head into our final map of this series with Mitch and Tom.
Disagreements on the desk, you'll love to see that. I just want to know if me and Minnie have a problem. I mean, he was looking at me real weird while I was coming up the stairs there. I don't know what that was about, but Navi and Fnatic, 3 maps. I think we deserved it. We always talk about the Boaster versus Angel head-to-head, and we got to see it in the last map, that comparison of Xiao, the new IGL for this roster, with Angel as the coach. Same system, but new pieces to the puzzle. And well, Xiao certainly has a gap in terms of experience. It was 13 days against over 2,000 as an IGL. But trading maps, and Navi even looked better on their map on Fnatic's map than Fnatic did on Navi.
Angel did say that the only reason he'd have a rivalry with Boaster is because he wants to see him get to negative 550 and keep himself at the bottom. And I don't know, I think he's been doing pretty good at getting that to come true so far. I don't think he's helped Xiao's KD at all, but he's been having a bit of a rough one. But maybe Bind will be the map where we can see him take the reins.
Is that the plan? As an IGL, get Xiao negative 500.
Then he'll go to bottom 3.
Exactly.
He goes up the ranking.
This is all the plan.
I feel like Xiao would have to drop a lot, though.
Yes.
I don't think he's
It would have to be half won a split many times in a row for maybe 2 years. But for now, we're on to map 3. Fnatic are on the attack side, and Navi, they seem to have some idea of where the hit was coming in. You see the rotation from Hero coming through, but although in the rifle rounds there'll be a lot of information, even just off of the bots that they can send through on Filu and Hero, not quite a feature here. But we do see Sociable still has that flash, and I don't know if this is going to be kept to actually fight for space, or if very soon, I imagine it will be sent for information, although that information has just come in a much cheaper form.
And that time is ticking. Kayak, though, with his second opener. It leaves Ruxic under immense amounts of pressure. Prowler being put through just to try and bait them into thinking it's the other side, and he's going to have to go absolutely ham, and he gets nothing. Vekaz back on the Viper. Back on Comfort, it seems. And while... Yeah, I was going to say, there's going to be a salvo or two, but... they can just wait.
Yeah. You might as well throw your one out. You get it for free at the next round, but... Oh, goodness! Okay, Hero's got one and some damage, but that's all there is to write home about. 4 more players need to be dropped. It won't be a flawless round, but I doubt it's going to be one that the Flawless will live to haunt them in. 1-0 for Fnatic, and a very strong start to the pistol, at least.
Yeah, of course, a lot of stakes on the line here. the loser of this game going up to face the winner of Heretics or KC. I'd expect them to be favorites either way. And obviously the winner will face either Vitality or GX. And they'll be looking for a spot in that middle final to try and get themselves through. Second time of asking. And probably save themselves an awful lot of stress. That lower bracket gets scarier and scarier as things go along.
There you go, 643 days
Again,
since
a lot of
NAVI.
600s.
Yeah, but I mean, it was because it was 2023 stage 1 when we saw NAVI beat Fnatic, Angel leading at the time, and that's the only time also that NAVI have beaten Fnatic in the partnership era. It's a 5-1 record in favor of Fnatic. And certainly in the last year and a bit, it has been flawless on their side. A 1-0 start on map 3, a series that often ends up going the distance.
Yeah.
But expect nothing different here.
It's funny because the way that this veto has gone, I expected Split to be the third map. I expected maybe the Fnatic would pick Abyss because it's been such a strong map for them. And then I thought the Bind might even be the pick of NAVI, with even though they had a rough performance versus Mates. I still think it's a map that we hadn't seen from Fnatic, but obviously if you go off history, we know that this has always been a comfortable map for any Boaster squad. A map where, well, I think if you look at any Viper lineups, we know where they came from. Hello. That's an easy one for Kayak. And the A site, well, I will say the only risk is if they catch Crashies. That was about it. They do have a nice flank coming in and maybe a nasty surprise. He's reloading. Oh dear. That's not great. A second kill comes through, but Boaster's trying to, but that's a spike on the ground. They have managed to retrieve it at least, and obviously Sociable's so low, but even still, this is far more damage than I was expecting.
Yeah, far more damage than they should have gotten away with, especially when they don't find Crashies and force that fight back towards mid. A lot of players caught off guard, and a heavy price tag on this round already. It won't get any more costly, and at least 2 rifles saved over to the next. Just before we cut out a game, Alpha dropped the weapon over to his teammate, Kayak, and picked up another. So some stabilization in terms of economy, but there's no two ways about it. I mean, that is a really good round for NAVI with what they came in with.
Yeah, still lost the rifle, so there's still definitely some expense and not ideal. But they will still come in with 3 rifles for this round, and you look at the players that are holding them, Alfia, Vekaj, and in fact, even the potential of a 4th. Yeah, Boaster's going to bring it in as well. So they didn't lose too much, didn't lose enough to make this a terrible buy. For NAVI, it's going to be pretty important to get off to that strong start. We saw this defensive side look pretty good in their initial matchup. A decent trade to start, though. For the squad in black and red, or black and orange, sorry. And we'll see if they can turn that into something. Ruxic has had a bit of a slow start here. They're going to need him on this side of the map.
Alpha's just taking a top spot, didn't go all the way to truck, and it's a good thing. You can see that Hero and Ruxic were holding that, waiting for him to pop in and give a pick away. But a more passive stance from Fnatic after they take that initial map control, as TP is going to be taken other side of the map. And in fact, Xiao, he's wrapping over through bathroom. He's going to be cut off on this rotate because Alpha is still waiting. But is he looking the right way? He is. We cut to him as Xiao's head is cut clean off, and the double fake for Fnatic has worked wonderfully.
Yeah, still yet to get to the side.
30 seconds left.
With such deep control, again, they've got an extra salvo to try and buy them a little bit of extra time. But I feel like this is something that, yeah, Fnatic, they've got enough time. They're not running it as low as maybe in the past. There's a chance that the special delivery could deliver a kill, but instead, it's Alfia once again. There's a reason we wanted him on the duelist, on the Raze. We know what he can do. Hero's done well, though. In fact, even doubles up, and Sociable's on a late flank. Seems like he was maybe expecting someone a little bit closer. The Flash has given the game away. They know exactly where he stands, holding the angle. Bear in mind how low Alpha is. He could be spammed out of the box, and the cross being held, but it's Alfia all day long. 4 in this round. One of the rifles they had that took over.
1 kill to start, catches Xiao, opens up the space for the rotate back to A. Nice stuff. This one, he's 26 HP in every other fight. Every other fight. He got caught walking back to the bathroom. He swung back sight and then survives the spams from Sociable, swinging it together to close that out. That's a ridiculous round from Alpha. A 5-0 start from him as well. 5-4-3-2-1 when we get to see the scoreboard. Nicely done for Fnatic, perfectly balanced. For NAVI, well, 0 on the board, losing round 3. And again, if they end up losing this map, sure, they've pushed Fnatic. They looked great on map 2. And it's a great sign for their vetoes moving through this tournament. The breeze is now something people have to be worried about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all it's going to amount to.
Yeah, we need to see them warm up into this game. I think that, again, like for NAVI, I think staying in the middle bracket is more important. Like Fnatic have been in those sort of like the depths before. They have had to fight back through poor starts and make it through lower bracket runs. For NAVI, we saw with their roster last year that they did attempt that to make it to champions, and they had to go a long, long way, made it quite far. The problem, though, is they no longer have Angel in the server, and I feel like that's a massive difference. Like when you're a less experienced IGL, even though you get to check in with Angel every once in a while, he's still there, he's the voice whispering in your ear for a couple of minutes per game. It's not the same. It's going to make things more difficult if you have to go through some of the rosters that will inevitably drop down. Of course, even if Fnatic win this one, they then, as said, they'll have to go up against a GX, a Vitality. One of those will have to have dropped down. The other will have already dropped down. So there's going to be a lot of high-pressure games that you have to make the run through. Middle bracket gives you an extra chance. And more importantly, it gives you some time.
And that's something that NAVI will need. Time. Over this year. I mean, something Angel said as well in the podcast about Xiao, right? That about this project in general, that it's not something, obviously they don't come in going, hey, we can lose and it's fine, guys. You come in, you aim for the top, of course you do, but reality of the situation that they understand is that this is something that will take time to build to its highest level, and especially for Xiao, who, again, has been in that system for a long time with Angel, who's been led by him on the server. Now, having that coach teaching you how to lead in the same kind of system, it's beneficial, but it will cut down the amount of time. It won't erase it.
No. Oh, okay, nice shot from Xiao. We've seen this a couple of times throughout the series so far, the slow start of a team and then the pistols, the low buys, bailing them out. And again, with how slow Fnatic likes to play, they're going to try and sell this ruse once again. This time, though, the rotation hasn't been baited. In fact, no, it's the orbital strike. Time being brought further. A nice shot from Kayak, though, will clear out one of the players here. Xiao already taking immense amounts of damage, and he's not going to survive. The danger slowly dissipating. Hero on site will lose his life to Vekash as well. And although the time started to get a little low, things started to get a little dangerous. Fnatic have stabilized.
It was only it was an easy kill in towards who could have start with, but the fact is the headshot was landed anyway, so it didn't matter the lack of shields in play. Really nice stuff. One player falling in the form of Alfier. Showstopper on for the next. Vekash 1 away from being the same. He's the one to hunt this one down. Not being the same, I suppose he won't have a Hunter's Fury or a Showstopper. But will have himself a nice little pit to play inside of. So a 4-0 start for Fnatic. Economy at their backs. The fact that they lost an Outlaw but can still play with the 4 rifles that they carried through. They have a Showstopper, they have a Viper's Pit, and they even have Kayak to go into another dimension and hunt them down. For NAVI, no ultimates to bounce back for, and that's in a round where they're investing all of their economy. I mean, this is a big danger coming up in round number 5.
Yeah, I think, like, you understand why Xiao used the ult there, like, but now coming off the back of a defeat, it's an unfortunate circumstance. Because you look at that and go, in that moment, 30 seconds left, you've got an opening, you can delay the whole team, maybe you can pull a full rotation of your squad. Not a bad place to put it. Sure. But going into a round loss, coming in with no ults, up against 3 ults, when you're 4-0 down, that's now a bit more of a problem.
With no credits as well, like the fact that this is the investment, this is the one that you put all your eggs into the basket for, and your opponents have so many get-out-of-jail-free cards. You don't. And for NAVI, this has to be clean, clinical play from the get-go. A timeout called here, understanding the value, the importance of this. Like, the fact of Split, where it was a dominant 11-3 showing from Fnatic, NAVI gave them too much leeway, too much rope to play with, that by the time they started pulling on the other side, it was too far gone. They can't let that happen here, but the way that this half has been set up so far, it presents them a real real challenge in stopping Fnatic from running away with it. It has to be here and now.
And I feel like it has to be aggressive. Like, you can't allow them to execute. Dimensional Drift gives you info, Showstopper gets the pick, and then the Viper's pick gets you post. Like, will Fnatic want to use all of them? Maybe not, but at the same time, if they do, it's worth it in this sort of round. And speaking of aggression, already, Vilu taking that early fight towards the TP, hasn't found anything, but has got a lot of space.
It has got space, but that player going through the TP, Fnatic sense weakness. You know, it's unlikely it's a B stack after that. You're thinking about at least one or two.
They can check as well.
They've spotted them both out. Both players seen. Kayak will take space on the site now on front. Shorty in hand. Players covering from further back. 50 HP left to play with, and a double connection. Huge trade for Alphayer. And the nade sent through does damage onto Hero. A pit locked in, and well, it might be costly. They're putting a lot on the line, but if NAVI don't go for the save, they will lose everything in this round. Their economy will be in the bin, and Fnatic will have a easy start to this map. They have no choice but to run for the hills and give this one up.
I'll admit I did get one thing wrong. I said he'd find the info, and then I unfortunately said that Alpha would get the pick.
Yes.
Picks. He got two. So I apologize. I was wrong. They then did use the Viper's Pit for post, but there was a mistake in there. He got 2 for 1. So
honestly, Tom,
I'll try and do better next time.
Don't apologize for that. Just be better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, we're going to let it slip this one time. But you're running out of rope here, as are NAVI. 5-0, and okay, they save these weapons. That's a great start. No exits for Filu or Hero means no ult online off rip the next round, but very, very high chance they'll get at least one of those to bounce back on. More importantly, we need to see those early fights. Like Filu there goes to the early aggression. I love the idea, but they're waiting so far back. And the fact is, only guy forward can TP, can get that gate crash out of there.
Into it just seconds later. Like, that's so unlucky.
Let's go, Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Rocket Man.
Oh, that isn't a cutback to the pause. That was just now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, clearly...
scribbling down, don't group up against the Showstopper.
No.
Valuable
Fortunate timing.
Bring them down.
5-0. Economy booming, and wow, much faster looking take. Alpha over the top. Kayak's already made it to the back of the site. Hero's been dealt with. Ruxic trying to fight forward, and he succeeds. Can he get out of there? No, the C's has grabbed him, but there's no one to capitalize. He will live to tell the tale. This is where Fnatic can build that post plant, though. Snakebite, Molly, available. It's about clearing those players out quick.
Yeah, here comes though Showstopper, the big problem, and it's called Crash. He's right away. Vikash and Boaster, 2 versus 4. Boaster swinging backside. What a shot! Great connection. And Molly going to be sent through with the wraparound. Should prove to be too much. An isolated fight for Vikash, though. And the Molly buying him time. Orb, oh, the orb hasn't landed, but it might even give him a way out. With a snakebite in hand, he can make this very dangerous indeed. He goes marching forward, snakebite landed, Ruxic forces the fight, but falters, and Fnatic keep pushing forward. 6-0 now.
I can't believe that snakebite made him vulnerable. Like, completely missed, bounced into a wall, and then he clips it, and he's vulnerable to the bullets. That either that is the greatest lineup of all time, or he missed it and got very lucky, but it didn't matter anyway. Won the fight. And from a 2v4 scenario, it looked like NAVI were finally going to have the round on the board. Look at it go! Look at it go!
It went up top!
Oh, that's so much better than I thought it was. Oh, that's insane. He has a lineup for the top of the box. That's crazy.
Yeah, you don't? Come on.
No, I didn't know.
You can't play this game. This is why we don't have Alpha on the Viper on this map. He doesn't have the lineups. That all makes sense. Jesus, you've got to be so mad if you lose a round like that. For NAVI, I mean, they probably don't even realize how ridiculous that is. They saw it from his POV. But a 4 versus 3.
Why didn't Ruxic just block that one?
Pistols in play. Rifle for Ruxic. He's on the right side at least, but how much you getting done unless there's a big pick coming in? And well, actually the pick was onto Ruxic, the man with the rifle. So hey, look, next round they've got a lot to work with, at least for NAVI. They've got ultis, they're going to have credits back, but a 7-0 start, man. This is getting to be too steep a hill to climb. Well, Kayak was asleep.
Go back out. Go back out.
Go back to sleep.
You got this.
Back
you got
to sleep.
He's just hiding.
To be honest, like,
oh, don't knife him. Oh, Vakash. Oh, you. Don't you dare. Don't you. Vakash, no! 7-0. A knife in the back for NAVI to hammer home this lead. Oh, no. Well, if NAVI...
Xiao's been having a rough day.
They might need another pause.
I think that probably just made it worse.
Do you reckon?
I like the idea that for years he was on a team with Angel and got to... Sorry.
What was that?
What was that, Vakash?
Say again? Tom, as the expert,
as
over
a
to you.
Londoner, I'm very offended.
Over to you, Tom. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that.
Well, stylish indeed. 7-0 start, and for NAVI, hope is waning. Oh my goodness. The light is looking very dim indeed.
What are we doing? Guys, this is to keep you in the middle bracket, stop you going to the lower bracket. I'm watching a man wiggle his vandal on a corner that a guy might be on.
We're 2 series away after this one from one of these teams being in Santiago, and we're wiggling rifles at them. All right. We'd love to see it.
Oh, well, there is the wiggler. Alpha has already managed to find one. Trade out. Ultimates, they were built up into this round. A chance now to try and deny them at least the additional space, but they have avoided it. And, well, unlike Fnatic, they've actually got plenty of time.
At the moment, Hero is watching for the flank, watching for a player coming through that pit. But he's about to be spotted. Now they know that he's up close. He'll step back just a moment, but the Seize goes in. 1 HP. A spam will be enough. The reveal doesn't catch him. No, Crashies doesn't know that he had a player dead to right. Still, those defenders need to push on forward. They have thinned the herd down to just Vakash. And my goodness, he's got a lot of utility coming his way. There's no way NAVI are letting this one slip up. No room for error. As a 7-1 scoreline, finally, NAVI are on the board.
Yeah, it still took a lot. Like, we saw all those ultimates build up, and they are now all gone once again. Viper's Pit put in early, Armageddon to clear them back off the site, allow for the time, and then just holding within the pit. It's a round.
Oh, scheiße!
He's become a local. That's what it is. He's getting.
He actually only speaks German to me now, which
yeah
is a bit unfortunate because I don't speak.
And
German.
you only speak Irish to him.
Absolutely. Thiago, well say fair. 7-1. Fnatic. Could this be the start of the downfall, the crumble? NAVI bouncing back. Well, not if Vakash has anything to say about it. This is nasty. They've just lost a round, and their response is to fully freeze and wait. That smoke's going to fade pretty soon. Flash has caught by Vakash! Oh my God, he's got 2! Blinded up in that corner, and okay, he might have overheated a bit, but you know what? I'll take it. He should have been dead.
To be fair, I don't think he expected a third player to even be there once they pushed all the way far down. Filu, he's in no man's land, looking for a pick, and it's a save. Surely it's a save. I had 2v4 when they have a post-plant Brim ult. All right. Okay.
That's not a free salvo.
You're gonna. That's bought you.
Now he's running away.
4 seconds. There you go. He just wanted them to plant at 37. That's his favorite number.
There we go. Did the math. Tom, you're really on a tear today.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to take Mini off the desk. We're just throwing you in. I haven't heard him give one of these pieces of insight.
No,
you know that?
Like,
the whole day.
These are all leaks.
He's had weeks to prepare as well. Come on, man. Up your game. Are you going to stare at me like that on the top of the stairs as well? Come on. 7-1. Turning into 8. It's not 8-1 yet. Hold on. It could still be the clutch.
Okay, let's hold on.
There you go, 8-1.
Okay, 8-1.
I mean, look, anything could have happened, Tom. Anything could have happened.
I was literally holding my breath.
As was I. I almost passed out. Actually, can you take over? I'm feeling a bit lightheaded.
That's nuts. The flash just not catching. It's a bit. It just looks away.
And this is the thing now.
Like every maps now. Not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, no more Jet? Wait, what? That doesn't make
crazy
any sense.
No one on our desk said
That's just exactly what everyone thought you were going to do coming into today and every other day, actually.
It's crazy because map 1, he was nuts. And map 3, he's nuts.
Yeah,
but I'm not seeing any correlation.
What happened? But yeah, the thing is for Navi, this time it makes perfect sense. You're 7-0 down, you win a round, and immediately, not just lose so quickly in those initial fights that you're again left into the situation where your best path forward is just to run away.
Your best path forward is to put in one salvo when they have 45 seconds left.
Probably it was not to put that salvo in because you have to pay for it again. If it was the last salvo, fair enough, you get it back. But yeah, he used one, but not the second one, which is
he's got credit.
Perplexing. Either way, this is the moment to take a pause because like the comeback that they had on map 1, the dominance on map 2, coming into Bind Tom, if it wasn't Fnatic, only that we know this team, I know their BS, I know how they play, I know from one map to another how things can change. But if it wasn't them, if this was Team A and Team B, coming into map 3, I am going for Navi. Like, they look like the better team. Breeze, they dominated. Split, they were awful in the first half, and then they learned how to play. I think by and large, I would have more faith in them performing round to round. And yet they have completely fallen apart on Bind.
Yeah, it seems as well that, like, going back to, like, Alpha on the Duelist has just been disgusting. Vakash has been playing incredibly well, and Kayak is also 10-4. It's not like there's been any slackers. Clutch has won everything you'd expect to see from Fnatic. And while Brooksy, okay, he's just going to swing it. He's feeling like an alpha. Oh my goodness, there's no way he survives that. That's how, oh, and also a TP from Xiao.
Oh, no.
He's gone in to try and help and has ended up as part of the deficit. Now Sociable, this fight versus Alfia ends up being everything. He needs to try and hold some ground, and in fact, Hero's already running his way back. Boaster gives him an angle, but that was a spike. He needs to just get out of there.
Yeah, he's made it back around through long, but ready to burst out of spawn until that Molly blooms was Sociable. No flashes left to fight his way out. The dog sent through instead, but it's already being caught. The snake bite used to buy some time, but the flank up by Hero only spotted now. He's found one, and now Fnatic know they're surrounded on all sides potentially, but the group up in spawn actually gives the advantage to Navi for a moment. Nade and Salvo sent through, but Vakash easily repositions. Showstopper now sent his way. They don't know where he is. A single bullet will be enough. Filu fires the rocket just before fading out of the round, and by another narrow margin, Navi have a round.
And that's always been the scary thing in this game, is that when they are winning rounds, it's okay, they've had to expend a lot. Showstopper right at the end, just to make sure that the round is converted. But yeah, surviving with one player alive after a save round, it doesn't exactly leave you with loads of credits to spare. So this could almost be a 2-for-1, leaving a 10-2 hop. Of course, they get this back to 8-4. Maybe there's a world. But I do think that anything less is just going to be a bridge too far.
Well, 8-4 and a pistol, certainly the game becomes much more digestible at that point, but even on recency, 2 out of 3 the last rounds. Navi starting to look a bit better. It looked like Fnatic were right back to winning ways, but
Smoke's down.
an interruption from the defense. Dimensional drip sent through. Kayak, nice spot of both these players on long. The utility is going to be fired in, and no, only the one. Sociable's able to get out of there as well. Numbers stay in favor for the defense, and oh, Hero! A triple, as he was the last defender on that B site, but it did not fall. Navi 3-8, 3 of the last 4 rounds as well. Is this split 2.0? They're back in the saddle again?
Yeah, it feels like Fnatic are giving them a way back in. Hero taking so much ground at the end of this one to close it out.
It's just the fighting that's bad. We did good though.
Probably don't want the fighting to be bad, generally speaking.
It's a compliment sandwich. You give the criticism in the middle. He actually gave them a compliment just before, and then that was the compliment in the end. He's just giving. He knows how to give good feedback, although they can't hear him, so he's giving that just to Milan.
Personally, I blame Boaster for getting shot through the smoke.
Yeah.
A random spam.
Do better.
Be better. Well, 1 round left to play for. A Viper's Pit and a Showstopper available. Filu almost taking Crashes out of the round right away. The op doesn't get fired. I don't expect to see too many risks being taken by Fnatic unless they involve Alfier going in first with a big old rocket on his shoulder.
No way, they've cleared that corner that Vekash got a double kill from. That's crazy. Good to see that they're learning from the mistakes. Even though it wasn't a mistake last time, they checked it the first time as well. A standoff. A Western, but with slightly more higher firepower weaponry.
Yeah, I don't think they had scopes like that.
Or they've disconnected, but I don't think so.
No, it's a game of patience, or maybe a game of chicken for Filu. He has to worry about his back when his execute comes through, but he's got 2 teammates close by to cover him. So not as much of a worry on his shoulders. Showstopper sent in as Alfier takes down Ruxic, but the rest are caught back. The utility keeping them at bay. Where was Hero going? He saw a Boaster there. He knew he was stuck in the corner. Filu pulls this back to 3 on 2. What a set of shots that may just have given NAVI the chance. That pit goes wide, but it could fall any moment now. He did just run in there with an op, didn't he? Why?
Yep. There's a risk. There's a big risk. Maybe thought the Viper was planting, but that risk hasn't paid off. Sociable. Round the edge, still has a flash to play with a pop flash in here, and Crashy's gone. It would leave a 1 HP player on the other side. The barrel got spotted. He saw the gun, and now Crashy is behind both of them. The first one is free, and he just goes back. Xiao is chasing shadows. He's looking for the man lurking in the darkness, trying to find an opponent. The molly is going to be revealed if he waits any longer, and Vekash on 1 HP will convert the half. Fnatic in the clutch. Who would doubt them?
Oh, it's got to be said, Tom. Mistakes were made there. Some slight mistakes before Fnatic capitalizing on every single one. After a close series, we have gone 9-3 in the first half of the final map, but plenty more action coming your way after the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, for NAVI, the first half proved more difficult than welding with candles. But Tom, talk to me. Half number 2. Where's the hope? Where's the promise? NAVI had a resurgence towards the end. Perhaps that's where you find some light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure. I'm not feeling it. I'll be honest with you. I think that Filu's still looking decent isn't a bad sign. Hero's still been there. But the fact that both Ruxic and Sociable have been somewhat of a miss in that first half, the half where you do kind of expect, like especially Ruxic, to have more control. He was mostly dominated, and then Xiao just, he's not been there individually the whole series. That has been the difference. And then with Vekash just being so impressive, once again, showing that this pickup wasn't just a random player chosen. There's always thought behind it individually. He's been sublime. Starting to agree with us as well that maybe he should play more Viper.
Yeah, that was a breath of fresh air for Fnatic. 4 players towards A to start. Not much spotted. Presence now on B. Oh, they've read it. They don't like what they saw on B. They think that was a fake, and they're dead right. The spike has already made it here, but they're ready to burst out. I think they're going fast, yeah. The Yoru flashed through, backside already claimed back. The nade has pushed them in towards lamps. For now, at least, Fnatic have got a foothold to pounce from.
That's a must-win pistol for NAVI, and with that spike ticking in their favor. And even the HP advantages, you feel like this has to be one that goes their way. Sociable, oh, he's surviving in the corner.
They won't know.
They should have seen that he was caught, though. The Siege should have caught him, so they should know that he's in this corner. In fact, a couple of kills coming up. Make that a third. Alfia was well aware. Leaving Hero and Ruxic. That time is ticking so desperately fast. Somebody needs to get on it, and they need to get on it now, and there just isn't enough time. The deadly duo strikes again in the post plant. And NAVI have their much-needed pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, this was essential for their fight back. We said in an 8-4 half, the pistol could really get them back into the game, but you go down 9-3, there's no more conversation, no more questions. We need to see that pistol under your belt, and, well, we very much did in the end. Again, the fact that Alpha found that pick, I thought it was all over. But Ruxic does so well on short, and a spam from Hero that spike wasn't that far away from being defused, and he was running low on ammo, but just about found his mark for the third or fourth time through that smoke in the end. Well, that's quite a response. I didn't see, what weapon did he have? What just got dropped on the floor? Not sure if it's anything worth fighting for. Either way, Fnatic won't go for it.
No, I would assume, based on them having 3 rifles, that it was a pistol.
You would think so.
That would be my gamble. I'm pretty sure it was. And they have to go back in that direction anyway to pick up the spike. So, yeah, not seeing anything collected. Definitely a nice shot to start. Oh, hey, a couple more going back in the other direction. Of course, expectations from Fnatic in this round are almost 0. But for NAVI, it's all about keeping the 3 players and the 3 guns alive. Sociable is isolated. That's the only nervous thing. But he was just waiting to catch anybody going for that orb, and he's even spotted the last player as well. So they can now freely go in another direction. They might not want to now, though, because that is a gun on the floor.
Decoy.
Does he just chuck it?
I like this.
Oh, he's just going to leave it.
Kayak's going to put that decoy through, make him think he's going for the TP. I mean, you know you're up against the Yoru, but it could work. The angle opens the door as well, so they're worried. But yeah, the step pattern, it all seems a bit too obvious, and immediately they abandon that position, playing much more passive and waiting for the actual play to come through. Even then, I think he could have went TP and walked around a short with only a couple extra seconds, so NAVI do very well to avoid those dangers. 9-5 on the board, and the slow resurgence can certainly be underway now, but this is the round where it really gets decided when Fnatic get rifles out, because already you've seen I think it was the only pistol they had? Everyone else was on classics, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And the only investment they made got them an opening pick.
Well, yeah, and a gun was dropped. That battle from Kayak drops a Bulldog, and that's gone. He just left it on the floor, didn't even bother bringing it with him because he didn't want to deliver it back to the team. There you go.
Angel wanted it to be picked up, evidently.
The thing is, though, they still come in with 4 rifles for this round. As bonuses go, this was always the NAVI way. It was always the Angel way of trying to make sure that those third-round purchases are deadly. And okay, Sociable's going to have to take a hit for it, but a lot of the time you're going to see Fila or someone take the fight and potentially drop a gun anyway.
Gate crash sent towards the A side. It's going to be up into heaven. Really fast rotation. While that's ticking away, Kayak wants a bit of information to play with. Halfway already gone. And the thing is, I thought maybe he'd run down belong and see that it's clear. Flash out of the smoke, do the TP. Instead, they're going to be a little bit later, and I like this. He goes into the TP. Kayak can just gate crash into heaven now, but causes problems as they think about that bathroom control being taken over. NAVI have more ground to worry about, but with Crashies down, that's going to help him get the spike planted.
Aggressive in their post barn as well, trying to just defeat anybody in front of them. And that's the Filu we knew from last map. He's had his moments in this one, but that's definitely by far the best round we've seen from him individually. The first buy that Fnatic has coming up on the board, and he just completely takes over.
Yeah, gotta very politely ask for a replay of every single one of those kills. That was nuts. And for Filu, again, we talked about this coming into today, and for good reason. He had a very underwhelming week 2. He's a player that goes up and down. I think about last year, I don't think he impressed me massively as a duelist. A tough roster to impress on. But now, certainly today, and up against Fnatic of all teams, he is pulling out a lifetime performance. And it is keeping Navi alive, keeping them in this at 9-6.
That was something that really interested me when talking to Angel, is like, he said about, like, you might watch players who have decent stats in games, like in officials, and when watching Filu, he saw him play like very, very well in their practices, and he went, well, I know if I get the confidence out of him, that's what I'll see. And I was like, that is not the way I feel like most people would look at it. You will look at a guy who does decently all the time in officials and go, I'd rather have that guy and try and make him better than see the potential and try and run with it. But that's the thing with someone like Angel. If anybody was going to be able to get someone to fulfill that potential, it's the guy who has more leadership experience, at least from the IGL role, than anyone else in this game. Like that's a fact.
I mean, like honestly, considering he retired from play this year, he has to be one of the most experienced FPS players.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. I mean, most people that have been in esports that long are now like org owners or something in the background. Like, you know, people that were around in those early days, sticking around is one thing, but sticking around as a player,
yeah,
you know, coaches, managers, sure, yeah, whatever, but as a player is ridiculous.
Even doing it as a coach is difficult.
It's tough. It's tough. You run out of time eventually. And this guy has stayed relevant as well. He hasn't just played. He hasn't been paycheck stealing on a roster. He's been building. He's been fostering youth and making some decent runs. We've seen him at internationals. One of my favorite interviews we ever got to do, him and Artis. It was it was almost like a cage fight happening, but verbally. I loved it. But yeah, I know you have him as a coach sitting there. I mean, you can only imagine the potential that he can get out of these players and how high that ceiling can be with time. Time is the narrative for NAVI, that they need it, that growing into this year, they could sprout into something beautiful. But the reality is, hey, they're not that far away from taking this series and progressing on in this middle bracket Ruxic. This is an angle that Fnatic should be ready for. But, well, there's not much you can do to ready yourself for that.
Yeah, hey, a few bullets shot and you kill off Kayak and Alfia, you take it. You take it all day long.
Good deal.
And now they look to rotate back towards the other side of the map. Crashy's there. Bandit in hand. The rifle now on Boaster. It's something that they'll be able to repurchase into the next round anyway, so at least looking to try and make this one a bit more costly, not allow the economy to go too crazy, because if you look at Navi, it's already through the roof. And they will manage to get a couple. Anything more, though, unlikely and impossible. 9-7. Navi, again, start to streak these rounds back, but you have to bear in mind, I think last time they lost the pistol, right? So Fnatic were even further in the lead.
Yep, they lost the pistol in embarrassing fashion as well. It was the double flank where they gave up both sides of mid. They got pushed on both sides of mid, and both players that pushed both sides of mid ended up flanking and killing 1 to 2 people.
Yes. Giants, yes. No.
Okay, they have a strat called Giants, I assume, and we're potentially going to get to see it. Let's take a look.
Is it the team or just big people? So, right, start of the round, Social Ball, you're going to flash yourself.
So he doesn't rate GX's initiators, that's clear.
Okay, yeah. What's step 2? And then nobody move.
Flash ourselves, freeze, okay. I'm scribbling this down, hold on. Mini might want this later.
All jump off the map, even though on this map it's not possible.
Poison's off.
Flash self.
Okay, lose the opening pick to Kayak on an operator.
Freeze.
I'm not seeing the vision just yet.
Give up. Yeah, right. Okay.
And you got the Tiger going through.
Three.
Gonna clear. Smoke to the back of sight. Showstopper. Okay.
Yes.
So you need to have the showstopper. It's popped towards a player that's very far away. Die. Hero kill everyone. But they don't have Hero on Giants. That can't be the play.
That's true. It could be the anti-Giants play. Heroes their kryptonite. Okay, here we go. Kayak's on his way through, clearing out all this space. Spotted Sociable already. That's one on his radar. Second player needs to find. They need that information. He doesn't spot him. Okay, so now hiding in the shadows are Navi, and they're striking from them too. Boaster gets onto the site, but a problem with the salvos going through. Heroes bought them valuable time as it keeps on ticking. Fnatic need to get on that spike. They need to buy a little bit more time for themselves, force those fights halfway! Boaster's got the first! He might just have this! The shots don't land though! Heroes there to save the day, and the clock was against them anyways. NAVI with another. And you know what? I feel foolish for doubting the strat. I should have known from that flash.
Yeah. When flash yourself, go 2 players down, win a 3v5. Maybe the strat was the last round. Now I'm thinking about it. Because he said it during the last. Never mind. Never mind.
No!
5 in a row.
Come on, man! Come on!
And it's starting to slip away from Fnatic. We saw the same thing versus BBL. Hot start to a map. Gave them some space, gave them a little way back in. And now Na'Vi are back at the races, popping off individually, having those same clutch moments. Okay, goodbye, Ruxic. Sleep well, at least until next round. Going back for a little bit more. Okay, Filu. To be honest, to go for the same fight, it's risky, it's bold, but it has worked out. Managed to get rid of Althea, who was the man with the Guardian. I'm sure that will be picked up. There you go, into Kayak's hands. But still, they've got a wide net spread. 3 players looking like they're posturing towards B. And in fact, the 4th of Hero is going that way as well.
Go for the walk-up on Fnatic. The timing here, I think they'll be a little slow, but it depends on Hero. He could get caught here. And in fact, he sticks around. He's catching them instead. The trap sprung. And a man with ult and salvos to play with doesn't need any of that utility belt cleaning up at least the first 2. They've rotated around to the A side, so he'll be on his way back. He'll have a third fight, but I think, thought it would be an execution. He's turned back just in time. Well played by Hero. He's fought that round, fought for it essentially himself in the spawn. And 9-9. The comeback is on. 6 rounds in a row. And it was the 5th that really changed this for me, because that's the bye round. Fnatic falling there. It was a guaranteed equalization.
Well, especially from a 3v5. Like, that was the problem. Yeah. They got the 2 opening picks, and then the fight comes into the round. I want to say as well that Hero, I was worried that we saw all the stats at the beginning of the day about how well he was playing. Yeah. He's been a bit quieter. This map, he has been nuts. 21-7.
Feel it was like 18-3 starting out one of the maps, so it's hard to also have insane stats when your entry just picks up everything.
Welcome to my
Viper's pick going to be put in. See ya! Alpha, what a response! That pit gave away the position, and Alpha's kill now causes a big headache, and they even put through the Tahoe ult on a Yoru who TP'd. So there's nothing found for that. A huge early advantage for Fnatic to play with. 2 big ults removed.
Yeah, and then already they're ready on that side of the map. 3 players there. Gate crash, if the pressure was then to come back through. Ultimate. Obviously dissipated. Chow's one away. But it definitely looks like a much better opportunity for Fnatic, with Kayak ready and waiting to catch on the cross. He hit the shot, and that's enough to help out his teammate, and the second player's not so lucky.
Yep. This should be the round wrapped up neatly in a bow, and the question now for Fnatic is, will they lose anybody? The convincing performance. Kayak wants those orbs. He's hungry, running it down with the op, and a 3rd in this round for him. And in-zone flawless as well. That's Fnatic's first round on the defensive side put on the board, and convincingly so. Consider as well that it was a 5v3 in a previous round. And consider the ult he's put in by Navi here.
Well, it was also a 3v5 that was created by Kayak getting 2 opening picks. So, if anything, it should have been the second round. Kayak almost individually won them. Of course, the showstopper helped, but he kills 3 and hits the other one for what, like the 100-odd damage? So, that operator for Kayak has already been decisive in the defense, and it's something we have to see if Na'Vi can deal with. Do they pick up the pace? Do they group up to try and put the pressure on? Or is it this continuous, slower style of play? We saw them with an impressive comeback on Split, and it wasn't enough. Is it going to be the same again?
A minute 15 on the clock as Navi spread the net, but now that net's being pulled back. Everyone abandoning the A site. Making a move towards B, and normally you see this gank crash for the rotation, right? But here it's a passive fallback, so it means that rotate's going to be much, much slower from Kayak. He can't get to the B side to help out, and they don't have any real info on B either. I imagine we might even see them attempt the retake, unless they're going to just hold their ground individually. Orbital strike already sent through. I'm quite surprised that it was deep to delay towards Hookah, but those rotates are going to take so long that NAVI just have to wait the util, and now they play more or less the same exit they would have. A safe corner for Boaster at least, and the catch has made it to the site.
Yeah, he's now the cross held by Alpha. Early trade. Vekash desperately low. And they picked off a low Boaster as well. It's all starting to fall into place for NAVI. The remaining two have a decision to make. The credits there, sort of, but that operator might not necessarily be an option. And with 4 players standing, you almost feel like there needs to be an immediate pick, an immediate mistake. Oh, that was the opportunity. Sociable to 4 health. That's the second time Kayak's been a little bit unlucky not to get a kill, but I almost feel like it has to just be the operator save. Take something back with you. It's just the timing for Crashies. If he throws away his gun, he might lose his life for it.
Yeah, it's time to go, and he's looking for a little bit more damage. He wants those picks, he finds them, and now to flee for the hills. I think he's made it, and nicely done. Great value coming out of Crashies in the end. Double digits, though, for NAVI. Neck and neck again. This was a 9-3 half. And we commented throughout how NAVI looked flat towards, well, it was only towards the end of the first half that they really woke up, that they really found their mice. And to see it again happen to Fnatic like this, first of all, you got to really credit NAVI. This is a squad that has an IGL who's a rookie in that role. He's got 13 days of IGL and under his belt. Maybe a few more if you consider practice. But to deliver this level of performance, because it's not just a close game, it's a comeback against Fnatic. That's impressive.
There's an opportunity there. I think Shao just dodged the pre-fire angle. He's been burnt by that spot before. An early stack up. Operator, of course, saved from the previous round, and Vekash has now used his pit towards A. That's why you see this early stack of players. The fact is, though, Sociable has gained the Seekers, which as a counter is about as good as it gets. I wonder if they'll go back and try and pressure that pit.
Toxins going up.
Oh, still a lot of presence outside of B.
Toxin screen down.
Doesn't look like that's the idea for now.
Got the
They crash back to A if they need it, but with that pit up, I don't think there should be too much of a challenge there for a while. 50 seconds on the clock. And NAVI have shown the willingness to play this a little bit slower, but not quite to the degree that Fnatic have. The push now coming in, but Kayak finds the opening. Hero stepping in through the smoke has already landed 2. That's the B site completely under their control thanks to Hero. Bakash will try to make this more costly for NAVI, but the late play by Ruxic has shut him down. They knew he was there with the TP giving away the Q, and honestly, I'm surprised to not see a save already, but they're going to go for this. A 2v4, now a 2v3. Kayak's up, could get them right back into this, but Hero again lands a big round. That's his 3rd of this, and NAVI's lead as a result.
It's fun because we've got the talk about this Fnatic roster with Vekash coming in, him having a great game. But you do have to kind of look to the other side and go, well, there is the one who got away. The one who you let go, the one who is standing in for your squad and has now headed over to NAVI and might be the one to send you into that final life, that lower bracket. Hero is cooking, 25-8. And that's the thing, in that round, he's running through utility, he's running into players, he's run into a crossfire, and he's taken 2 while doing it.
That's the kind of sprint I expect out of my Waylay when they have a refract online. Like, just, oh, you pop through the smoke, oh, there he is, and get back.
Maybe Yoro in ult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure, sure. But Hero, just with a rifle in his hand and a level of gold we haven't seen, that's NAVI's lead, and a timeout for Fnatic. That pressure's mounting. This is the squad that is famous for comebacks, and they almost lost Split to a comeback. They got destroyed on Breeze, and now another big lead, albeit it wasn't an 11-3 at least, but the 9-3 without that leg up, without the pistol here in this half, and we're seeing just how dangerous map 1 could have been.
Yeah. This is a different look NAVI showing that mental resilience. Talked about the fact that this was a path that they were going to go down, building up their new IGL, bring in Filu from a squad of nothing, like failures in the past, and turning him into a duelist that people would fear. He's done that today. And they might be able to pull off a crazy comeback versus the comeback kings. Of course, it's not done till it's done. It's not over till it's over, but you have to fear for Fnatic at this point. The early aggression looked like it could have given them something, but NAVI were aware. NAVI were present and have fallen back, are playing patient, especially after the pause. And already decent info. Pushing forward is not going to give anything over. Hero once again toppling a Fnatic foe.
This time Fnatic with so many weaknesses, already losing a player as well, and a showstopper to fall back on. Honestly, they need to get rid of that in this round. Otherwise, NAVI have 2 chances to close this out. With a big ult coming in right off rip. This game could slip away from Fnatic's grasp. This series, this head-to-head that Fnatic as a roster haven't lost since back when Leo played. Back when Artis was on this NAVI roster. Completely different time, and Angel, the only time they could take down Fnatic over 600 days ago. And now he steps into the coach slot, and it seems to make all the difference. They are just 1 round away, unless Boaster has the round of his life, from locking in a 2-1 victory over Fnatic, from changing the partnership record from 5-1, 5-2. Hey, it's not much. There's still quite a gap in favor of Fnatic, but it will start this year off with flying colors for the new and tested NAVI.
I'll tell you for free, the version of the matchup that matters the most is always the most recent one.
That's for sure.
I don't think Angel or NAVI are going to care. His record as a coach will go through the roof. But more importantly, it will put them 1 victory away from that middle bracket final. A chance to make an international with a squad that he's already been building up, as expectations were to trial things. Posted with the early fight. There's still fighting Fnatic. Kayak on this defensive side has been very good with this operator. Has made things much more awkward. NAVI have done well to soak up the pressure. This man especially, I'd say that maybe he's having a standout performance versus an ex-team, but he's done this every week. He's done this every game. It hasn't mattered whether they won, whether they lost. Hero has been on point. He's found that consistency. And now they need just 1 of the next 2.
Fnatic were 3 for 3 in matchups last year, up against NAVI. Not looking to let it slip as Kayak drops Hero. 2 rounds to get to OT, and Fnatic already putting their best foot forward to start this one. 30 seconds on the clock, and the wraparound from Alpha should lock this round in for good. It's a freebie, and he even doubles up. 1 more chance for NAVI before overtime. They've got the credits for it, that's for sure. But that valuable showstopper,
10 seconds left.
Not in play anymore.
Oh, nice shot from Xiao, but I think the next one's going to be a bit tougher. 12-11. Another solid round from Kayak with that operator. That's the main thing for me, is that they have that coming into this next round. A chance at OT. Of course, they almost lost to Foot, but managed to see it out in overtime in 2 different maps. Of course, for Foot, they faced elimination after that game. For NAVI, it could be the same story. They can't afford to let this one slip. The problem now, though, is that the ults are not in their favor. They'd have to go to either side of the map to collect an orb for a player if they were to get them, or find a kill here or there. For Kayak, he can play a little bit more sparingly. Speaking of sparingly, look how far Ruxic went!
That was an early bit of aggression. Kayak as well with the same, going back in, but Alpha, oh, he's tucked in the corner. That showstopper, it's going to be popped right here and now! And the connection only gets one! It looked like so much more was possible. He can't even fall back. Kayak's missed a shot! And they broke his gate crash! A 3 versus 2 now! Just moments ago! This looked like Fnatic had guaranteed themselves an OT. We're moments away from it, but now the Cash and Crashies, they have to get in there and defuse the spike, and Filu, on a tear of a game, has slipped away from the site. An uphill battle in this retake. But Vakash has had one hell of a game. They have no info.
Prowler finds nothing. Reveal still available. Vakash will be the first point of contact. He spotted ahead, but the same for his opponent. Here's the steps back. But that time has been ticking for quite a while. They need to get a move on. Crash is only just making it into the site. They were waiting for the Viper screen, hoping that that could give them a little bit of a break. The spam through hasn't managed to deny it. In fact, they're just trying to stick it all the way, but it has been stopped. They need to get back on it. They need to do it now, and they've done it at the last second. Always leaving the heart fluttering, but Fnatic take us to overtime.
Overtime.
They waited so long. We came into this game talking about how much Fnatic like to run the clock down. We meant about the attack side, not about the defense retakes. They came back in there though with full toxins. The wall goes up and it's a problem. A blast pack stopped that defuse for a moment. And less than a second in it. NAVI were just about to set the history book straight, and instead we're on to OT.
It gives me flashbacks. A man let go. A man without faith, but Vakash had full faith in Crashies to hold the line. And boy, did he hold the line. NAVI, they had that victory in the palm of their hand, 0.9 of a second. And now they have to fight back once again. But Ruxic, that fight starts with a Vakash death. I'm sure he'll be happy with that after the last round. But there will still be a plant and a very aggressive position for Alpha here.
Yeah, he's up in heaven. And they've pushed all the way into the spawn, swapping positions completely with the defense. And the thing is, for NAVI, you know, you're about to burst out of bathrooms, come in through short, you think that you'll have the element of surprise. You think about those close corners that you need to clear. Not often will you focus your sight so far back. Alpha, he's already got the opening, but that just brings them back to a 4-on-4. So he wants more. Back out with another. Alpha puts them into the lead in terms of numbers. Molly down buys a bit of time too. A nade online with that second kill, and that means even more delay, even more damage. Xiao's almost gone down to it, and then the salvos come in, and then the cavalry arrives. Fnatic 13-12. They have battled back to the lead, and now they can take it home.
It's crazy the spot we find ourselves in. The mid-round adaptation to switch up to the back of the site. As you said, I'm sure NAVI came into that going, we've got the element of surprise.
Yeah, close right
like,
could be up top.
There's going to be somebody watching the spawn. We're all coming from behind. They're never going to see this coming.
I need a Well, there's a pretty wide tip on that bottle, so all I'm saying, we'll get you sorted somehow. 13-12. 9-3, I thought Fnatic are going to win this game for sure. 12-10 to NAVI. I thought NAVI's got this, and now here we are fighting for survival on that attack. And Sociable already claiming the first life. A step in the right direction. Another OT needed for NAVI.
Sociable's had to flash back the other direction. I don't know if he will have expected this deep control to have been claimed. But he's definitely being careful of it. That second flash, I said, he's always been good to hold it. He's holding the angle, but lost the fight. Boaster will take him out, level things up once again. As they back up towards the other side, this is where Vakash will be under some pressure. And actually, Alpha,
didn't see anyone.
The Prowler, I think, did it catch him?
I don't think so. I'm fairly certain it ended right at that corner. Hero has flown under the radar. They have no idea that he's here, and they won't think about it for a few seconds. This is a free double for Hero. In the pulse of NAVI, it doesn't go quiet just yet. Boaster, I think this would be a play to remember. A play that would haunt Angel's nightmares as he watches from the coach booth. But even with the first, so much more needed. Another will get Orbital Strike online.
Yeah.
And he
No
has a
smokes,
molly,
though.
but it's in the wrong spot. Indeed, no smokes is quite the issue. And a shot to the head locks in another OT. This game ain't done yet.
Oh, the heart attacks continue. No one able to take that finishing blow. And the fact is that they won this round off a millimeter of a Prowler. Like, that was it, just the tiniest of margins. And that's Hero winning the round. And it's also the worst player that you could have missed. The guy who's 31-11 right now. The guy who is... He's making his mark this year. He made a dent, I would say, last year. The end of last year, he was playing incredibly well. But we were mostly talking about Ruxic as the guy.
Oh,
now
for sure.
Hero has taken that mantle. And well, a chance for the coaches to talk once again, a tactical break that could make all the difference.
It's worth mentioning as well for Alpha. You're sat there looking across the stage. I heard you ask him in makeup, you going to break some more records today? Well, he sat watching Hero in much less OTs than he did it. Approaching that 33 kill record. He's 2 away. The way he's playing, he might just smash that record here today. Alpha's going to watch his own record get broken against him. That's tough. Well, if Hero keeps up the steam.
Did he have the map or the series? I thought that Alpha had the series record.
Pretty sure it was kill record at 33. It's the kickoff kill record at least. He's kill max right now.
Okay.
That's the.
Because I was thinking, I'm sure Sociable has had more. Not
like historically. Kickoff this year kill leader or kill max, K-max as it's called, is Alpha and Zeus from the same map, from the Corrode 18-16 if I'm not mistaken. It was a hell of a long game, but here we are. Heroes 2 away from
Screen down. Here.
Pushing that bar up maybe more than a few notches, depending on how long this one goes.
Well, 13-13. Fnatic have had their fair share of overtimes. On NAVI, this is their first. The pressure placed, the Hero being hit by everything, but still standing Xiao under serious pressure. But he's gone down to the snakebite instead. Even still though, Hero may have been hit by every piece of utility under the sun, but he'll still take down Alpha, and the reposition is wonderful. NAVI reclaim the lead. The pause maybe making a difference, but Hero certainly is.
Oh, that's gonna suck. You know, Hero just there, he got 2 assists off that drone. He basically gave those kills away. And if he got those 2, that'd be his kill max, you know? I'm sure he's devastated at 14-13, about to hand it over to Fnatic again, as you said, a team with a bit of history. Not just in the head-to-head of organizations, which stands for most of the Fnatic players who lived through that, who stands for the IGL on NAVI. But also in terms of some of the players on that other side who they gifted over. NAVI 14-13. 1 needed.
It's going to be brutal. One of these teams will hit that lower bracket after a close-fought match, after opportunities taken, and we'll have to march through the teams that come up to beat them. It's not going to be an easy task to make it all the way to the end and only have 1 opportunity. And for NAVI, this is another attempt to close. They've
Locating targets.
struggled to do that thus far. We're moments away, less than a second away in regulation. While that time is ticking down, pressure being put onto Hero, but I'll be honest, I want to avoid that guy, but there's still another Turkish superstar that's caught them on the other side of the map. Vekash, though, that's going to be the spike down. Sociable needs to retrieve it, and he just about manages. He'll get to that B site, and Hero's been left behind. The snake in the grass.
30 seconds left.
He's heard all 3. He's just heard all 3 players step towards the spawn. They could call for the rotate back, but instead the plan comes in. Hero so far away with no salvos to play with either, and he's going to wrap all the way back through the spawn. I mean, this gives a window to strike for Fnatic. And although Sociable goes down, that pit still stands strong. And look how deep it goes as well. To walk through that choke point leaves you on a sliver of HP. Vakaj can barely cross the door without going down to 1. They're going to have to challenge him, and they have to deal with Ruxic, limited vision, barely any health. They heard the shot though, at least an idea, and that's Ruxic down. A chance for Fnatic to carry on as Crashies lands the shot to Hero. They've got this, another OT. Fnatic, they're not gonna give up just yet. It's so close every time.
It's that duo again.
Yes.
That's the same 2 players that retook the last time. The same 2 players that walked in to an impossible scenario, walking through a Viper's pit with Hero on the other side, and still come out of it alive. Maybe, like we always talk about Brashies, but I'm looking at Vakaj and Crashies as potentially the duo you have to fear the most. And well, NAVI, another opportunity slipping through their fingers. That's going to eat away at you.
Phenomenal reveal by Crashies as well. If that doesn't land, this game plays out completely different. That one shot fired, it gave the game away. It allowed Vakaj to find him. And the duo of Kekaj, again, will find that victory. Oh, I think it's fine as is.
So what would you do if it was Kayak?
Vayak, obviously.
Well, Filu, he's already managed to take down one of the danger men. Vakaj is gone. Now they look to quick swing back in the other direction. Bear in mind, there is only 1 man currently there, but the full rotation, the full force of NAVI is looking to try and run it down. The goal for Ruxic is buy time. Slow them as much as possible, even putting through salvos, but Filu has then been caught. They can look to try and get that spike in, and they will succeed.
Now planned for now. The TP hurt as well, so they know that Bath is going to be taken over, but Kayak is
Dodge the Tiger.
Playing this one nice and slow. He's given up the control, but Alpha here waiting to strike in just a moment. He swung a little early, and Sociable manages to drop him. Numbers thinned out somewhat. No Molly left to play with there for Boaster. It's going to go halfway up already. There, the Molly lands, and it had already been fired out. Thankfully, that buys them precious time, but it's already halfway defused. Crashies, he's got his work cut out for him. 3 bodyguards defending as the defuse goes through. NAVI again. Another chance to close out this series, to beat their rivals from day 1 of Valorant, let alone, now we're going back to party pirates when it comes to Angel, but in partnership, a record that is stacked against NAVI, maybe about to change.
Yeah, it's a lot of maybes with how this game has gone.
Nice! Good shit.
Wonderful retake. Even with all that post-plant utility being thrown in, they managed to still have so much time.
2 more, come on.
That's only kickoff record, isn't it? He's got a way to go.
I'd like Hero to have that.
I think he needs to get like 40 if we're talking about EMEA in total.
Poison orb emitting.
15 to 14. Fnatic. 1 retake with 2 seconds to spare through a Viper's pit. The one before that
Portal
with
closed.
0.9.
Time to jump.
They've been cutting it close, but each time have managed to bring back rounds. And Kayak, well, we didn't see him have the operator the last time that he was caught by Sociable. He's taken a risk. No shields. Might just have to escape this one. Sticking around a little bit longer, but will eventually have to leave. Oh, almost caught.
Still 100 HP. 4 shots. No hits just yet, but Alpha's here to change things up. Fnatic, they're holding on to life again. A 4 versus 2. Hero spam not quite landing, but here comes the salvo. That's going to open the door. Hero's got a challenge coming his way, but Vakaj wins it. Hero's the one forcing the fight, but Fnatic forcing the fold of NAVI, that advantage. It's about to bounce back.
Oh, well, for Ruxic, 12 seconds, 4 to find.
10 seconds
He
left.
spent about 30 seconds trying to just kill off Vakaj. And I don't even think he's going to get that done. Nope. In fact, Vekash will put him down. 15-15. Fnatic may be going into a deficit each time, but NAVI just can't close out this game.
Another one. Yeah, give us some more OTs in this. For NAVI, this has got to be soul-crushing, man. They've been so close. And after devastating starts, this was really nice from Vekash there. The fact that he wins that, yeah, it can be a bit punishing, being a bit unforgiving. But
yeah, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
A number of rounds, they've been so close to connecting that victory. This is a game that feels like it could be theirs. That slow start on Split, hell, it could have been a 2-0, but instead, back to square footing yet again. Fnatic on the attack, up on Kayak, up on Filu. It's the same old story, and a very, very slow approach for that exact reason. Both teams being very cautious about giving away that opening pick. But the problem is when you do that, you got to kind of telegraph where you're going or where you're looking for those picks with utility. Like here, we see the Prowler put through on Bathroom, and then an immediate focus on the B site. The idea being once they make noise over there, hopefully Filu pushes up, gets a bit curious in Bathroom, and can be dropped by Kayak. But this slow play, it's not luring NAVI into any fights. I mean, they know who they're up against.
Dodging the drone might call into a false sense of security. Rooksic's now spotted them looking to cross. Orb in place to make that plant a little bit more awkward, and Filu, the operator, in a good position, but he's missed. And now he's under pressure from Kayak from behind, a step too far, and he is dead to right.
30 seconds left.
That's another time they've been caught in the back line. And in fact, it's a spam shot that clears out another, leaving just Sociable standing. Fnatic might be about to have their first chance at victory. Unless Sociable can pull off a miracle. The first comes easy, but the next is tougher.
Okay.
Vekash down as well, the player above. Surely he doesn't expect an Alpha will make sure this Turkish brother gets no further. Now Fnatic have a chance to close.
Will they falter at this hurdle? I mean, it's been a back and forth affair. Attacking rounds, defensive rounds.
Normally saw him.
Normally when we get to this point, Tom, it's like, well, both teams are really good on the defense. First team to win attack, that's the team that wins. This has been back and forth. There has been no predictability to this as we move into yet another round. Number 32 of Bind. NAVI now have to fight for survival after knocking on victory's door multiple times throughout this map. Fnatic steal the lead at what could be the final hurdle.
Well, this is what we talk about when we talk of rivalries, a cult classic. The Fnatic could look to end. Or will there be more bends, more twists and turns in the tail? Bosa's Molly's going to start things off. Burning at their feet, but the openers have gone the way of NAVI.
The advantage there's for now, but the spike not planted and players incredibly low. That even took Rooksic down to 5. He got hit by the final shot, I think straight into his shoelace. The rotate is going to get this plant. I don't see a way that they can stop this now. There's no nade left to work with for Alpha, but Crashies gets space. What a shot, but it's traded. So important for Hero to strike, but he's the only player with health. Rooksic on 5 HP will quickly be dealt with. And they know Hero's towards that backside. Crashies Prowler doesn't make it around it, doesn't find Hero, who's sneaking his way back behind that tall box. It's all going to come down to the timing. Crashies! What a shot! I need that slowed down and then slowed down some more.
He is staring across the stage as he defuses. That is a Red Bull clutch and a half from Crashies. And well, one chance was all Fnatic needed to close out this game.